Hey, welcome back to Go Next Door with Lola Graves.
And Vincent Jello.
Yes.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What is this, episode 14? 15?
14?
15. Episode 15. Yeah, no, 15.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
14.
All right. Man, we have to do some cuts already.
15.
All right, 15.
My bad.
All right, well, but the first episode was banned in Croatia. Wasn't it? You remember that whole thing?
Yeah, that whole debacle. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So if you
but now that you've been released from jail, we're back on track.
Exactly.
We're good. We're golden.
And now 15 episodes later, we're back kind of at it. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, it's good to be back. I tell you, those jails over there in Croatia are pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen like Midnight Express, but this is like way over and above that. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So yeah. I mean, that was Turkey, I believe, but no, Turkey, Croatia.
Well, now you're
Isn't
on
that the same thing?
Straight
I'm joking.
Straight and
I'm totally joking.
straight and narrow.
Yeah, for sure.
You reformed? Are you reformed?
Pretty much for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good
no
job.
more. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That whole goat
That's
thing.
a story for another day.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, good to be back.
Yeah.
North America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, but didn't really watch a lot of movies. Saw a couple on the plane.
Oh.
Yeah, from Croatia. We stopped over in Greece. It's a weird layover. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And then something I think we stopped in like London and then New York, and then back here. So it was it was a bit of a. So didn't really watch anything of note on the plane. There's a lot of babies crying and people.
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
great.
But no real horror stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple good weekly watches where like Crypt stuff we did today, I think, or we've got to
I think we got some Crypt stuff that I'm actually interested in. Well, I mean, I'm always interested in talking about them, but yeah, some stuff that are like, well, my Crypt pick for this week is like something that I've loved for forever, and there's just so many layers to it that I just really like it.
For sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So should we just dive right into the Crypt?
Let's do it.
Dive right in.
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to the Crypt.
Okay. Thank you.
So should we do yours first or should we do?
I don't know. I might go off on a tangent on mine again.
I know. I was wondering if we should do yours first.
We could, and I can just like calm down for the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
Not pay attention to your trivia like I usually do, and just kind of lull myself off into a Sure.
So that you're not like, oh wow.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? Okay, sure. Then that sounds reasonable. Right. Sure.
Yeah, let's do yours first because I didn't really like it. That's why I want to do it first.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, and I like mine, so I'm more excited about it. So I'd rather save it for later.
Sure.
Save the best for last. Yeah.
All right.
Your pick was, I don't know if it's like Nightmare or Nightmares in a Damaged Brain.
It's either or.
Either or?
Yeah, I mean
either.
That's the Bluray I have is. I mean, it says Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. I bet.
Yeah.
And I think it's originally known as Nightmare. 1981.
1981.
Yeah.
Yeah. Directed by Romano Scarlini. Don't know who that dude is. Yeah. Don't know if I want to know who that dude is.
Yeah, sure.
This one was a weird one. All right. So synopsis.
Hit it.
There's this mental patient guy or some kind of I guess he was a mental patient. He was in some kind of an institute and they were doing experimental drug testing on him. Yeah. And they're like, yay, he's cured. And they ushered him out into the world. And he promptly started killing people.
Great concept for a movie.
Yeah. That's pretty much the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's
he's having flashbacks this whole time. And not really sure what's going on. And
like he's got schizophrenia and like something else and like all these things. Like he's a messed up dude.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, and the experimental drugs that they were going to do, they were potentially going to be used for like, I don't know, covert spy shit or something.
Yeah. Which that was a weird subplot that I don't think was necessary.
No, like they barely referenced it, and it was like, oh yeah, we're going to use this for, CIA shit or whatever. Yeah.
But this, okay. Well, why don't you just talk about how you feel about it and just go on a minute.
I mean, it was extremely forgettable for me. I didn't really like it. I didn't really think it was like, it just didn't do it for me. I don't know. Like the concept is interesting.
Yeah.
But it was boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe I just didn't care. Maybe I saw something.
Well, those characters are not overly, that we talked about, aren't overly likable, or you don't really give a crap about these characters. I don't know why that is.
There's no character development about any of them.
No.
I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Yeah.
half of what happened. Like, I'm sure you can remind me of stuff, but like, I'm sure people died, but I don't even really remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about the gore? What did you think of that?
What, there was gore? I don't know. Like, it was
There was
so
a lot of blood,
so
like
forgettable.
decapitated heads and stuff. There was like gore.
It was so forgettable.
Blood splatter everywhere, and the kids and stuff. You know, there's a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah, because the kid. I mean, the gore was, it could have been done better.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, I swear it was shot in the 70s. It's 1981,
Absolutely,
but dude,
it seemed like it was shot.
this
in
is
the
like at
70s.
least a 78 movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so the gore effects are not. I mean, this is like.
Well, and fun fact, the gore effects. Savini is credited on some of the older copies of this.
What?
As having being the special effects artist.
Really?
He completely and vehemently denies it and was going to sue them unless they took his name off. He was around a little bit and he was like, no, you shouldn't do it that way. You should do this. This would have a better effect. But he didn't. None of the effects were things that he designed, that he did. He was just kind of like, that's pretty hokey. Don't do that.
Really?
Yeah. So he is like distanced himself from it and is like, was pissed that they were putting his name on it just because he was around, like, not even like kind of consulting. Yeah. Just kind of like helping him out to be like, this looks like crap. Don't do this. Wow. You should maybe think about doing something that looks better. Yeah. Yeah. By the sounds of it. So. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of says a little bit about that whole concept of the effects and the gore effects and stuff. Yeah. And the practical. The effects didn't look great, but they were practical. But there was a lot of like heads coming off and like blood splatter, like shooting out and stuff. Yeah, but the blood wasn't even like blood. Like it just looked really, really, really fake. Didn't somebody get their face with a hatchet? He was like pounding away on that guy's face at the end. You keep seeing the hatchet going into the face and stuff. There's a lot of that. Yeah, and it bounced because it was rubber. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there's there's some stuff in there. I didn't think the gore was terrible. Yeah. It just wasn't well done. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. But I mean, there was blood shed in this movie, which is what I like. A fair amount of blood and a fair amount of, some kind of red liquid anyway. And like kids getting murdered and stuff. I mean, I was like that in a movie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and kids murdering. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. So tell me why you picked this one. Okay, because I absolutely love this movie, and I freaking hate it now that I watched it again. I've seen it a few times. Like I bought the freaking Blu-ray for this thing, and you loved it every time you watched it. I love this movie. It's like there's Maniac and there's all this, and there's Nightmare. It's like it's not disturbing even remotely close to Maniac. No, it's not. Not close. But we should review Maniac. Well, we should. Yeah. But it's sleazy in a 70s kind of way. Like this guy gets out of this whatever he's in this asylum or whatever. Institution or whatever. Institution. And then he starts like cruising around Times Square in the 70s. When you start a movie off like that, like I like that vintage. You can see the there's a documentary on the Blu-ray, which I subsequently after the movie we watched it. I drove over it with my car because I now hate it. I could have sold it. I'm like, no, I'm that's it. Like I've had it, man. As we were watching it, right? Extreme. Yeah. I was you were angry. I was angry. I was fucking angry, dude. Like, and I was really like, angry. Wow, like this was your pick, dude. Yeah, so angry. And you were so angry about it. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't understand. No. Like. But I'm gonna dial it back. Okay. So basically, like I've always liked stuff like Maniac. Like you can see like sorry. On in the documentary on the Blu-ray, it goes into like the locations of this, like the places, these bookstores that he's going by, and these peep shows and stuff in the movie. It's in like New York, right? Yeah, and like it's Times Square, all this stuff. Yeah. So it's cool to see that. It's like a historic kind of thing to see that. So I like movies that are kind of seedy and sleazy and stuff. And he goes into that one peep show. Yeah. And he's not even, he can reach through the window and like touch the girl. Yeah, that's weird. Is that a thing? Was that it? Maybe it was the thing back then. I don't really know. That's a real place. Yeah. So it's cool seeing all that. And it kind of sets the tone for this greasy feeling. And so I think the first few times I was like kind of watching it through
Times Square sleazy tinted glasses, of which I have many pairs, because I like that stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
that's kind of your jam. You kind of dig that,
yeah. Well, I grew up like that. Well, that's a story for another day.
That's a whole other story. Yes.
Yeah, jeez.
Yes.
So I mean, I kind of like that, right? But then he gets on a bus or wherever he gets to Florida. He takes a car. I don't even remember. I don't freaking care.
Yeah, see, I don't remember.
He shows up in Florida. We don't really know why.
Car. I think they were going through different stolen cars.
Maybe they.
Well, no, when they were trying to find him. They were trying to track him down.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Some of it's coming back to me now.
Okay.
Yeah, some of it's coming back to me. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to fill it in a little more? No. I mean, I don't even remember what the hell. I'm just angry. So anyway, he gets down there. But then he's like, some of the kill, he sneaks up on that woman. I remember he comes into her apartment, she answers the phone, and then she sits up and like he's standing behind her and he just, I think he just, did he decapitate her? No, he just slit her throat.
Yeah.
And then stabbed her like numerous times in the stomach. And he's
even
not
him
like
stabbing her is kind of like,
but he's remorseful.
He wasn't aggressive.
No, like he's sorry he's deranged, right? He's schizophrenic. He's got all these other issues going on.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because it's kind of more of like, it's not like watching Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer or something, but like you kind of see this guy from a different perspective. And I don't want to go as far as say that you kind of feel sorry for this guy, but you can kind of get in his head a little bit and realize like this guy's he's not just some madman.
Yeah.
So there's that part of the story which I kind of liked.
Yeah.
And like Maniac is like that too.
He can be a little bit sympathetic because of his history and whatever. Yeah.
And in Maniac, don't you feel that same way?
No, I don't really.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a sad part to
because
this.
you know what? You can have the shittiest, worst upbringing ever, and you don't have to go out and take that out on other people.
Well, that is true. But
like that's saying that any like real life serial killer, like Henry Lee Lucas, from Portrait of a Serial Killer, that's like saying that they get a pass for being shitty.
No, they don't get a pass. But
but like, I'm not super like it's shitty that they were brought up like that. Yeah. Yes, it's shitty that people did stuff to them. Yes, am I sympathetic to them being the way that they are? No.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm not either. But
yeah.
But there's another dimension of this where you're seeing this guy as a patient, not just like some crazed lunatic. So
yeah, I mean, but in retrospect, he started out as a crazy lunatic.
So I kind of like that perspective.
Like he's there for a reason. In the institute.
So he gets to Florida, and he starts killing these people. We kind of find out at the end what's really going on.
Yeah, he starts like stalking this little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's that kind of stuff going on, but. I don't know. I liked this movie a lot before. I don't like it now. I don't know I've never really flip-flopped. Like, I'll go for something like, I don't really like this movie, and then I'll watch it. And I'm like, it's not bad.
But to have such a visceral reaction to how much you hate it now?
I don't know. I just was like, I was bored. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But I guess it just changed for me or something. I mean, this isn't something I watched like in 1981. It's, the last 5 years. Like when I kind of, like it wasn't even, you couldn't even track this down probably back then. Like, like recent, like up until then, you get a Blu-ray of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I'd watched it a few times, I think. And so just not really, so this time I was just, I don't know, just somehow didn't resonate with me the same way. And I was like.
It's not even that it didn't resonate, dude. You were angry.
Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah. No, I was. I felt like I wasted like my time. Watching this, the seedy stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I'll always hang my hat on that. That was nice. But the rest of it, I'm like, oh man, I'm not into this. This kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Hey.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Maybe let us know in the comments if you're a fan of this movie and enlighten us as to why maybe you're a fan of this movie.
I mean, it's people like this movie, but I think I looked at it. Yeah. I mean, why would this company release this on Blu-ray with the extras and a freaking documentary and haul the director out that nobody's ever heard of?
Speaking of
audio commentaries on there.
Speaking of releasing the movie, fun fact: the film's UK distributor got sent a presents for 6 months because he released an unapproved version of it. He ended up in jail for 6 months.
Oh, UK,
I mean, do you think the unapproved version is better than this version?
Who knows? But it even says on the cover, like, this movie's not for the squeamish and people with a nervous disposition.
Yeah, but why? There's nothing that offensive in it that is not good for squeamish people that I can remember.
Well, no, there's a lot of like there's some gore set pieces and blood and stuff in there that you may not remembering. Doesn't mean it was good, but I think just that this guy's this crazed guy doing this stuff, and there's not a lot of like music in the background. It was just kind of weird. It's just there's something to it that was a little uneasy the first few times I watched it, like in a good way. I'm like, I don't know, this is kind of.
I don't know. It was a friggin' snore fest to me.
But
I was not.
That's how I felt this time too. So.
Yeah, I was not down with it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nightmare.
Like, I mean, there are sure those movies that like, you know, you like when you're younger, and then all of a sudden you watch it again a couple of times, or you watch it again, and you just like you realize maybe it wasn't as good as you thought it was because it's not as, you know, you're not shocked by the content anymore, or that kind of thing. Like it's just something very. Like, I'm sure that there's movies, everybody has movies that they liked before and then just didn't like because they, you know, your personality changes, your tastes change, your likes change, you know. But this one, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I mean, I
would agree.
I definitely didn't like it.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I drove over it with my car.
Yeah. Hmm? I'm kind of glad you did too. One less copy out there in the world.
Yeah, and I hope some like 8-year-old kid finds the two pieces and then puts them together and says Nightmare, and he's like, what is this? Because the cover's kind of crazy. It's like some deranged or beheaded woman, isn't it? With like blood splatter and stuff. It's awesome.
Like even beheaded woman blood splatter, like clearly like fake thing with just like a line that you can just about see the little squirt line thing.
Oh, and that scene there? Oh yeah, no, for sure.
It was like, come on. It was just so corny. It was corny. That's a good way of putting it. The gore was corny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And slow motion gore. Corny slow motion gore.
Yeah, it was slow motion. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when he was stabbing people, he was like slow motion stabbing. When he was slitting throats, he was like, can these people get away or something? Could he move any slower?
Yeah.
Like, are the drugs making him like, did they give him turtleitis? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
It was just weird. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then ultimately find out why he's stalking the little boy and the family and stuff like that. But
well, it's his son, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's some like 70s kind of sex stuff going on there too, which is kind of good.
Was there?
I think so. And then the woman, just her husband, I guess, but she's like messing around with that other guy. I guess she thought he was in jail or whatever, though, in the asylum. So I guess she was moved on, but.
Yeah.
Right? She's with that guy.
Ex-husband. Ex-husband. That's her new husband. Her ex-husband was the killer.
Oh, that was ex?
Yeah, because when the big reveal at the end was like the final scene of them unveiling his dead body and her going, "Oh my God, that's my ex-husband."
Oh, she said ex-husband. Okay, yeah.
Literally the only thing that would ever lead us to believe that any of that. Like it seemed like an afterthought.
And then you see the kid kind of looking through the window of the car, smiling. That was the best part of the movie, actually.
Yeah.
He's smiling and he kind of just frowns. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, man, he's going to be the next killer.
Yeah, he's got like daddy jeans.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of daddy jeans, happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So speaking of daddy jeans, yeah.
That's nice. That's, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wow. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. All right, are we done with this piece of crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so my Crypt pick was one that I absolutely love and have loved forever. You're not a huge fan of it.
It's a great movie. Like, it's a great movie.
Okay.
But I don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it a handful of times, and yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll watch it repeatedly. Silence of the Lambs from 1991.
Yes.
I still remember when I watched it back in the day. I was like, I don't know, I guess like 20 years old or so. And I remember watching it in a theater downtown.
Yep.
And then like, it was a late showing. And then like hopping on the bus by myself to like go home through downtown and into my seedy neighborhood. And the feeling of like, you know, I'm never going to trust like a creepy van ever again, you know, kind of thing. Like it was just such, I don't know. It just kind of left something with me. Not to trust people.
And I'll just jump in there. I remember seeing that in a theater in a different part of town. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Packed theater. Don't think I ever saw a packed theater like that since. And I did like completely full. Mm-hmm. And I went in. I was there by myself. Mm-hmm. And I went in, and yeah, like I ended up sitting like squeezed in next to a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Watched it, came out, got in my car, And for some reason, I just had an uneasy feeling too. I mean, it's not like me to be, even feeling like that after a movie. But I remember looking in the back seat of my car, like just a little double check, just as I was getting in.
Yeah.
But that I'll never forget that, and there's just something about it. So that always stuck with me. So I mean, obviously, it had an impression.
Yeah.
No, it's a good movie for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously because it won like 5 Oscars.
Sure. It's not that I don't like it.
It can't be that bad.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But that was, to go back to what you were saying, but that was just like, I had the similar kind of a weird experience after the movie. It was like,
it was just so different to me because it felt so realistic. And Hannibal Lecter is so, like, that to me is one of the most horrific things. A super smart serial killer.
Sure.
Someone who's super smart is not just some like whacked out, nut job who's killing people for shits and giggles or whatever, right? Like, I mean, he was killing people for shits and giggles, but also food.
Yes.
Like, it just someone who is like that is so smart.
Yeah.
I think that's what I found unnerving about it. Like, not Buffalo Bill. He wasn't super smart, but yeah. I think that's what I found unnerving about it was just that, somebody out there. I mean, so like so many parts of this movie like correlate to actual real life serial killers, right?
Right.
Buffalo Bill luring people into his van by using props. Like, I have a busted arm or whatever. That's like Ted Bundy all the way. Ted Bundy used to do stuff like that. I mean, Ted Bundy helped the FBI find the Green River Killer.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The skinning people and using their body parts, that was Ed Gein. Not really a serial killer, but a killer nonetheless. Yeah, because he would sew like, bodysuits out of people. Yeah, like so much of it came from like real life stuff. And I mean, I'm a huge true crime junkie, so I've like followed this stuff for years. So, like all that stuff was kind of resonated with me a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like Ted Bundy was a super smart guy, like super smart. So, and manipulative, and I don't know, like, yeah, that kind of stuff is a little bit scary. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like, that's stuff that unnerves me more than.
Oh no, I get it.
More than quite often, like, fake horror movie stuff that is like fake horror movie stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I find it more unnerving when there's something that's like plausible.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I guess I didn't talk about the directors or anything or the synopsis because I got too excited.
I don't think we even need to worry about too much.
Director Jonathan Demme, starring Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, Ted Levine. Cameos by Roger Corman and Chris Isaak.
Yeah, I saw Corman in the credits. I would have never known that, but I saw him.
Still haven't been able to pick him out. Chris Isaak, you can pick out right away.
Yeah, and I never really noticed him in there until this time.
Oh, when I was like, hey, that's Chris Isaak?
Well, you're like, who is that guy?
He was that guy. Yeah.
I'm like, it's Chris Isaak. Yeah. But I never really noticed before. I was just probably looking around the scene, like, not really looking at the,
You know what part of that might be? All that was happening around the whole like Roger Corman thing. So maybe we didn't even know it was Roger Corman because
true.
That's around the same
That's true.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, synopsis. Little FBI cadet, Jodie Foster, Clarice Starling, has been tasked to interview, for whatever reason, this cannibal killer, Hannibal Lecter, because they think that he can help find another cannibal or another killer who is Buffalo Bill, who is abducting and mutilating women's corpses, basically. Abducting, killing them, mutilating their corpses. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. I found it just really different than anything out there at the time.
It absolutely was. Yeah. Absolutely was. Nothing came close to that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm such a huge true crime buff.
Yeah.
And even like, so the FBI was involved in, helping them with doing all this stuff. Like I've got a ton of stuff in here. Jack Crawford was based off of John Douglas, who was one of the early or founding members of the Behavioral Science Unit.
Oh, really?
At Quantico. And I've got, he was one of the main inspirations for the TV series Mindhunter. I don't know if you've seen that. It was on Netflix. Really, really well done. I've probably got maybe 6 of his books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he wrote a bunch of the books, like Into the Mouths of Darkness, and like it's just like how they started doing profiling and FBI profiling, all that kind of thing, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably another of the reasons that I love it so much. Like the FBI was hugely involved in it. They modeled some of the people after actual people in the FBI.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they like, I don't think before they were even allowed to like shoot footage that was similar to FBI, like, cadet stuff of doing the things that they do and like what kind of stuff goes behind the scenes. And I don't know. Yeah. I think that played into it for me as well, just because of being such a huge true crime person.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I don't know. I find it just fascinating. Yeah. Yeah. So I had some other little trivias.
Yeah, let's hit it.
In there. Anthony Hopkins, who won Best Actor, was only in 20% of the movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Which kind of makes sense when you think about it. But that's actually one of the shortest, I think at the time of whenever I found this trivia, it was the second shortest screen time of an actor that won Best
Is that right?
Actor. Yeah.
Do you know what the first was? Or?
No.
Did they list it in the trivia?
Probably.
I was going to say, I hope they did. I mean, I'm kind of curious
Possibly.
about that now.
Well,
20%.
Look it up.
So, yeah, okay.
Buffalo Bill, when he dances around, like he's like, there's a scene where he is naked.
Yeah.
And he puts on like literally, it's not a wig, it's like the scalp of a woman that he had abducted.
Yes.
And he's dancing around and he's like kind of trans, but he's not really sure what he is.
Yeah.
He's kind of trans, but he's not really trans because he's just not sure what he is yet. He's, he's becoming something different.
Yes.
And he's dancing around. That scene was actually part of the book. Series of books are written by Thomas Harris. That was actually not supposed to be part of the movie. It was written in the book. And Ted Levine, the guy who plays Buffalo Bill, he basically forced them to put it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he thought it was really important and a part of the movie, which is such an iconic part of the movie.
Oh, for sure it is.
Which is interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Gene Hackman actually bought the rights to the book.
Did he?
Yes.
What does that say about Gene Hackman?
He bought the rights to the book. He was going to...
R.I.P.
Yeah. He was going to star in it. He was either going to be Jack Crawford or Hannibal Lecter. He had all these plans. And then he filmed Mississippi Burning.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, ew, I don't really like these characters. I don't think I want to play these characters anymore.
That's wild.
Yeah. Jodie Foster also tried to buy the rights to it.
Yeah.
But Gene Hackman got to it before she did.
That's interesting trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like Mississippi Burning?
I don't really remember a lot about it. I need to rewatch it. It's one that I think it's actually on one of my lists to watch.
Yeah.
One of my
That's pretty good.
many watch lists. I remember it being good, well done. I remember it kind of being unsettling.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it was, if I remember right, it was really well done. It was good. Yeah. So there's that. Hannibal Lecter's voice. I thought this was kind of a funny little piece of trivia. Anthony Hopkins modeled the voice after a combination of Truman Capote and Katharine Hepburn. I can totally see it now that I've heard that.
Yeah, I can kind of see a little Hepburn in there, so it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and a little Capote.
Yeah.
Like almost more Hepburn than Capote.
Yes.
But the inflection of how he talks is more Capote, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
That's very interesting. That's pretty unique, I'll tell you.
Won 5 best 5 Oscars, which I think I alluded to before. Best actor, actress, director, picture, and screenplay. Which is great because horror is always so trashed when it comes to Oscar-winning things.
Always.
But that creates the debate about is Silence of the Lambs horror?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of debated it a little bit.
We did.
It's interesting. I've always thought of it as horror. Like horror thriller.
Yeah.
Kind of. But a lot of people don't because it's real life and they think that horror is only, monsters and goblins and,
sure.
Supernatural stuff. I like to think that anything horrific, anything that makes that you feel horror watching or whatever is a horror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But we kind of talked about it. You didn't really think it was horror.
I appreciate that. I thought it was kind of psychological thriller. Mm-hmm. Rethinking it, talking about, maybe we would call it psychological horror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or psychological horror thriller. Something in there. I think it could be either or. But yeah, I can see the debate on that. I mean, there are movies that they don't really. Some people think it's horror. Some people would say it's a thriller.
Yeah.
Or a crime thing, or what whatever. But yeah, but as far as it being a real thing, that's not horror. Like I don't, subscribe to that.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
If it's horrific and it's real life stuff, it's definitely horror. It's horror.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. But it's funny because, like when we were talking about it, there were different variations of things. Like I mean, I just always feel that it's horror.
Yeah.
But then we started talking about Manhunter. Manhunter is kind of a prequel to this.
Yeah.
Great movie. Highly recommend watching it. Highly recommend it. So good. Yeah, it's basically a prequel to this. Different killer. Different like FBI people or whatever, different profiler type people. Such a well done thing. I never really thought of that one as a horror.
Yeah. No,
I thought of it as more of a psychological thriller.
Yeah. Oh no, I would agree.
And my rationale for thinking that Silence of the Lambs is a horror would still be the same for Manhunter.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I can't really explain that. It's just something.
It's hard to explain. I mean, it's hard to. We talked about for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And about Manhunter and those two movies, especially. That sort of creates like a dilemma there as to which it is because they're both kind of very similar.
Yeah, and then you think of other ones that are horror that are kind of along the same lines, like even like Hostel.
Yep.
It's horror, but it's people killing people, same thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know what the line is for some people.
Well,
like it's hard to rationalize it when every single time you have an argument for it, there's an argument that can go exactly the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I find it's like it can be such an interesting debate.
Yep.
And even like some of the movies that you've introduced us to, us, me, and friends of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of have that same logic, right? Like they're horror, like your shot on video.
Video violence.
Video violence.
Yeah.
It's horror, but it's basically like less. It's almost less horrific and less believable than Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's definitely there's some gray area there.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what our friends out in podcast land think.
Yeah.
How do you define horror?
Yeah.
It's definitely like another kind of weird aspect to that is one of the trivia facts that I found was Fangoria magazine. Well, the very, 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 very well-known horror magazine, Fangoria, they were denied access to the movie because the movie people thought that having Fangoria review it and be attached to it in any way would hurt its chances for winning awards.
I believe it.
Because horror is always like shit on by like the whole awards community as lesser than. It's a lesser genre.
Yeah,
so they
true.
They didn't want to be associated with it. But it's like the people who wrote it and everything are like, it's a horror. But yeah, that's part of the whole dilemma. Yeah, which I thought was interesting. And apparently Cape Fear, which is another great movie, also was denied access.
Really?
Fangoria was denied access to it.
Yes.
And like Fangoria's been around for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's like
that's unbelievable. But then ends up, winning. Silence of the Lambs wins Best Picture. So
yeah.
What does that say? I guess.
So does it say that? Does it say that they were right, that they should have distanced themselves from horror because they, powers that be at the Academy or whatever don't respect it? Gene Siskel hated it because it was deemed horror. Mm-hmm. Roger Ebert liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Siskel maybe immediately was like, it's horror. Horror sucks. Horror can't be elevated.
Yeah.
You know, boo, horror.
I'm trying to think if I know I've seen lots of clips of, sometimes they'll have like review, or like old clips of him and Siskel doing like reviews on, like on a Blu-ray, they'll have like the take that they gave on a movie, like a horror movie, saying it sucks. But I feel like there's been a few that he liked over the years. And I wish I could remember what they were. But I know stuff like Eyes of a Stranger and stuff. He's like, this is like the worst thing ever. And this is like just terrible. Like there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
And most of them were like that. But there's a few, I think.
There's the same thing, Eyes of a Stranger. It's like, you know, same kind of a premise like that, but it's horror. Why? Kind of. Well, it's kind of.
I mean, like I consider it horror, but I mean, to me, it's also like a thriller.
Yeah. Yeah, the thriller. Yeah.
But yeah.
There's such a crossover with thriller.
But I'd like to be able to figure out I'll have to go back. I'm sure there's a few where Ebert was actually, like, they've kind of both agreed that there was a good, not this, but like, there's been a few horror movies that they both agreed that were worthy of watching, but
I wonder which ones
very few and far
like
in
back
between.
in the day?
Yeah.
Do you think it was like 7 or something like that? Or was it like along that kind of lines?
I think it was, maybe even before that.
Or was it like more like Aliens or something?
Well, I just don't remember, but I don't remember.
Maybe Exorcist.
Well, maybe Exorcist. I think they probably. Did they like that? Yeah, I probably did.
Jaws, maybe.
They probably did. I mean, yeah, but not a lot. And it's interesting that Siskel liked this one. To be honest, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Or Ebert liked it. And Siskel didn't.
Liked it.
Siskel hated it. Yeah.
Yeah, Siskel gave it like a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't like it at all. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I
definitely.
I mean, you kind of understand the reaction, but not really. Like specifically discounting like a horror magazine. Yeah, no, you can't associate yourself with this at all because
it's pretty outrageous.
Yes, it's crap. It's total crap.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting because it's always like the debate about, you know, so many. I mean, as anybody who's a horror fan knows that people always think that horror movies are a lesser genre and
absolutely
don't understand it and don't like it, and you know. Yeah. You know, think that we're nuts for liking that kind of thing.
It's true, right?
Yeah. We're a couple of misfits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody who watches is like a little bit of an outsider, a little bit of a I
know, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But then another one of the facts is also kind of like interesting, but it's also a weird sidebar artistic thing. The Death's Head moth design that is overall like the information for this movie. It's not actually what a death's head moth looks like.
Really?
Yeah. It was modeled after Salvador Dali's Involuptus Mors, whatever that translates to, which is, I think everybody's seen this floating around at some point. It's a 7 naked women.
Yeah.
Shaped like a human skull. Mm-hmm. That's modeled after.
Really?
Yeah. But the death's head moth actually isn't modeled after. Like the real death's head moth doesn't look like that.
That's neat.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But that's kind of an artistic take on something that, you know, it's not elevated, but there's some artsy stuff in it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And then I think my only other fun fact that I found about it was that Martha Stewart and Anthony Hopkins were dating during production.
What?
Yeah. Martha
Really?
Stewart and Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
And apparently she dumped him. This is like, I mean, whatever it says in the trivia. Dumped him because she couldn't separate the Hannibal Lecter character from Anthony Hopkins.
Really?
Yeah, which sounds weird.
That's... Really?
Yeah, it sounds kind of weird.
That does sound a little kind of weird, doesn't it?
Because, I mean, if you have followed Anthony Hopkins on Instagram at all, in any way, shape, or form, that guy is goofy.
Is he?
He's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's fun.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun, goofy guy. Yeah. So, yeah, he's very, very, very removed from that role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting piece of trivia for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's all the trivia I have.
I don't know how they even met. That's just weird. Yeah.
I don't know. They met somewhere like on production or whatever. And Anthony Hopkins was actually going to give up on Hollywood before he
was he?
Was in this role. Yeah. Yeah. He was just going to go back to England and be like like do plays and shit in England.
Yeah. Oh, well, it worked out for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. This was kind of his last ditch effort. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of all my trivia for that. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about it?
No, that's pretty much, I mean, like I said, I know you're thinking I don't like the movie. It's a good movie. It's not one I would own or, watch over and over. Just,
yeah.
But yeah,
I I would watch over and over again.
I like movies like this, like a lot, but like the rewatch value for me is less. Like I'd rather watch something that's either over the top ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like less of a. It's a deep movie, and I like that. But like once I've watched something like that, I'm usually good, or I'll rewatch it. But Manhunter I'll watch frequently.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't make sense what I'm saying, because I will watch that like over and over. I like it.
Yeah.
So forget what I said, but no, it's good. Definitely a good choice. I'm glad I got to revisit it. It's been a while. So
yeah,
definitely.
That's great.
That was awesome. And that,
really
the fact that you like it and stuff, we got to watch it together and stuff, and it's one of your favorites. Awesome. Love it.
Like, I don't know how many times I'm like, it puts the lotion in the skin or else you get the hose again. I just love that. It's so stupid.
Oh no.
Yeah. Speaking of my shirt, the whole Buffalo Bill action. Whoops, sorry.
Awesome.
Buffalo Bill action on my shirt. Yeah.
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 Well done.
But I mean, it's just so classic. There's so many good parts of it, and it
stands the test of time for sure.
Stands the test of time, and there's. I think I see something different in it every time I watch it.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
Things you can kind of really have to pay attention for and stuff.
Yeah, even just in Buffalo Bill's house, there's just things, and apparently George Romero's in it, has a cameo as well, which I
did not know.
I mean, if that's not a horror movie, I don't know.
Yeah,
George
right.
Romero's in it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I've missed that one every time. I've missed George Corman and I've missed George Romero.
Roger Corman.
Yeah, every time. Yeah. Yeah. But really well done. Really, really liked it. So I'm glad that you didn't hate it. Thanks.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. All right. That's that for that. What do you got for what do you got for what's going on?
Not much going on. Next Tuesday, what is that? The 23rd? Something like that. Few Blu-ray releases. Long Legs on 4K. Long Legs has been out for a while, but the Long Legs in 4K.
Yeah. What did you think of that one?
I want to see more Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I like that. I kind of like it. Like I like the way it started. I like those kind of slow burn, kind of, what's the word? I think it's kind of like this disturbing and maybe even like austere kind of movie, like something kind of. You saw it, right? Yeah. But
I need to actually revisit it because I was just initially kind of underwhelmed.
That was me.
Yeah.
Saw it in the theater. Was going to rewatch it when it came out on streaming. Still haven't got around to it. I don't know. Just like,
Yeah.
Maybe we did talk about this. Maybe we didn't. But like I still have a Nicolas Cage collection. I've got a lot of his Blu-ray. Most of the new stuff coming out, I'll buy it. Didn't buy Renfield. Well, actually, I found it at the library as a discard, so I bought it for $1 actually.
I like Renfield.
But yeah, I want to see more. It's fine. It was fun. But I want to see more Nicolas Cage in these movies. This one, he's crazy. It's funny. It's kind of hilarious. His role that his acting performance, right? I love seeing him go crazy and stuff. But not enough of him. And the movie was just almost plodded along, not too slowly. I mean, I can watch stuff that like nothing happens. I enjoy this artsy kind of stuff. But this isn't even artsy. There's just not a lot was going on.
Yeah.
And there's like kind of going for this vibe to try to sell you on this feeling of this movie. And it was there's a little bit of that, but I don't think really anything was really going on. So I just got to rewatch it because I was just like the trailers and everything made this look like just like this evil, crazy, like you're like, oh my God, this is
I thought he was going to be like batshit crazy, like classic Nick Cage, not understated Nick Cage.
Yeah. But there's a few scenes where I thought he was still kind of crazy, but I think I wanted more of it. But somehow it was sort of understated. It's a weird thing. I don't really know what to make of it, so I got to rewatch it.
Yeah, same.
But I may never do it.
Same. I got to rewatch it too.
I may never get to it.
Yeah, fair.
Plus, he's still doing like 5 movies a year, so probably on top of everything else I watch, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Yeah,
but I do not own it, and that says a lot.
Yeah, one of the few that you don't own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. One of the few out of the, what is it, probably 300 acting credits.
150 maybe, but yeah, it seems like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And also in 4K, I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997.
Oh.
I like this movie.
That's good. It's actually just came on Crave.
Did it?
Streaming, and I immediately added it to my list because it's such a classic. It's just a fun movie. I like to go back to it. I like it.
Yeah, like I'll watch it anytime. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, it's a good rewatch one.
So that, and then the one that just came out this year, The Monkey, I kind of vaguely remember the trailer. Didn't see it.
Yeah.
These are all 4K. I don't know.
Stephen King deal?
Was that what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's based off of that.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, but I want to. So it'll come out somewhere on one of the streaming platforms that I subscribe to, which is far too many.
A lot.
Yes.
Destroy All Neighbors 2024 Shudder. This was released on Bluray. It's two or three different slipcovers that you can get this thing in. I bought this DVD when it came out because I didn't think there was even going to be a Blu-ray. This is like a year ago. Mm-hmm. My daughter liked it. I don't typically like these kind of movies, but there's a lot of these movies like this on Shudder. I watched it and I'm like, I actually like this. So I have a small Shudder collection, and this is one of the few. So I liked it enough that I bought that. And I don't buy new titles. Like new movies that I bought in the last, like new movies that were released that I bought.
Yeah.
I can't even
especially
think of
Shudder type ones, right?
Yeah. Like I have Destroy All Neighbors and maybe a couple others. Like I do not buy it. I didn't buy it.
Oh, I thought you had Psycho Gorman.
No, I had it in my car. I was thinking about it so many times. I'm like, no.
Oh, see, I actually like Psycho Gorman. And it came on some other streaming platform. Off of Shudder now and onto something else. Onto Prime maybe. Mm-hmm. And I got to rewatch it, but I really liked it.
It was good.
I thought you had Psycho Gorman.
No, I don't.
Okay. Destroy All Neighbors, I don't remember a damn thing about it. It was super underwhelming for me, and I think I rated it a 4. Don't remember one iota. Nothing. Not a thing.
I would probably give it a 7.
Wow.
Just because it's different. Yeah.
Shit.
But,
okay, what's the premise about it again?
I mean, I saw it like a year ago. So there's this guy who moves into an apartment, and next door there's this guy who won't quit making noise, and he finally goes over there, and it's like this. I think it was just like a head, or is it the whole body? I don't know, but it's just this guy it's a head, isn't it? And he can't get rid of this guy, and this guy just kind of keeps coming, making noise, and he's sort of, no, it's a guy. But then he cuts his head off, and the head's still alive. That's what it was. But he just keeps coming over to the guy, and he's like, he can't get away from this guy. And there's a lot of like weird, almost like body horror, like kind of like Glorious, like some weird stuff going on.
Yeah. Glorious was fun. It was unexpectedly funny.
There's weird stuff going on in this one, and pretty funny, I thought. And just there's a lot of other things. I mean, I don't know how to explain it all.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Maybe it's kind of along the same lines as those ones like Glorious and stuff that are just like
and that was a Shudder movie too.
Out there, so bizarre. So who thinks this shit up?
Yeah. So every once in a while, I watch stuff like that and I actually enjoy it. So it was a good watch. But yeah. But one of the few modern, more newer flicks that I've ever that I'll go out and buy. Mm-hmm. So I would rewatch it for sure. Yeah. But I think that was pretty much it for them. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other weird random stuff that I don't think anybody cares about. But these are the more mainstream.
Yeah.
So
Destroy All Neighbors mainstream?
Like mainstream horror-ish enough that people, nobody's going to know half of this. Silence of the Lambs, sure. Anything else we've talked about since day one, nobody knows what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, people know my movies. People don't know your movies.
Do they know your movies, though?
Silence of the Lambs?
The Host? Come on.
That's classic.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah.
And the dude's like won an Oscar now or something.
Yeah.
Come on. This doesn't really work.
I like these movies.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this is,
Yeah, fair.
We're not reviewing. I mean, I guess we are reviewing Academy Award winning films because we just did.
Yeah. Look at we're elevated. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Fangoria is not going to be reaching out to us anytime soon. But okay. So that's pretty much it. So yeah. Anything else you want to add? No.
No, I don't think so.
Well, thanks guys for checking it out. I hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it. Not I hope you enjoyed it. I just guess we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I could care less.
Yeah, exactly.
No, kidding.
Well, that's what you always say when we shut the camera off. You're like, we finally got this done. But no, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave some comments below if you're watching on YouTube or some positive feedback on wherever you're listening to these streams or podcasts. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, stay creepy.
Take it easy.
You've been listening to Gore Next Door with Vincent Giallo and Lola Graves. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok for updates and behind-the-scenes posts. New episodes are available on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts.